Yes, you're welcome back onto your dining program, NEWSMAKER. Yesterday, a very serious incident happened, and you can say that it's a very great loss to the Yoruba nation because a very popular king in Yoruba land joins his ancestor, and that is from Oyo State, the biggest city in Africa, that is Ibadan. Oba Owolabi Akinloye Olakuleyin, from the lineage of Ige Olakuleyin clan. Then, since then, actually the Baba was very old enough, but nobody wants him to go because of the charismatic leadership that he was displaying in not only Ibadan but Yoruba race. We are whole in the money of the late king, and at the same time, you know what happened. The Ibadan throne is different from any other throne in Yoruba land and in Africa in general because they have a very special one. That is how they choose the leader, and at the same time, you know, when a king dies, another one enters into the shoes. Then people have been thinking of the next person because when something like that happened, then people easily know who is going to be the next person. That is why we bring somebody who understands history, somebody who is swimming in history, and a prince of peace, a prince from this Osun State, Prince Babatunde Bolati, very, very popular in the art of newscasting, both English, Yoruba. Yes, he's a man. He's a man of multiple languages. He's going to be our guest today because we are treating something peculiar to culture and history, both together today. So, how are you, sir?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, when you heard about the demise of Oba Owolabi Akinloye Olakuleyin, how did you feel?
The departure of Oba Owolabi Olakuleyin came to me as a shock because only about 2-3 days before now, or 4 days to be precise, he celebrated his 90th. Peculiar to the chieftaincy of Ibadan, there is a Yoruba adage or Yoruba saying that says "Eleni gigun ni Yoruba," meaning that a person who enjoys long life can only the people that enjoy long life can become Olubadan, and it has been so from time immemorial. So when I heard that he passed on, I was in a fit, whether to express surprise or otherwise. But be that as it may, let us give glory to God for giving him the opportunity of becoming the Olubadan. There were many like that in the history of Ibadan who were either Otun or Balogun who never got to the throne of Olubadan. The terminal point as a chief in Ibadan is either Otun or Balogun. Excuse me. Either Otun or Balogun. But in the case of Olakuleyin, he became Balogun. And from that position, he became the Olubadan. He succeeded Oba Mohud Olalekan Balogun of Aliyu Umade lineage in Ibadan, and that has been the situation in Ibadan. There are many. There is a ladder to be climbed up to the position of Olubadan. You start from Magaji, then it is from that Magaji that you choose, excuse me, either to go to the Balogun line, that is the military line, or Egbe Agba, headed by the Otun, And you have to go through the ladder, spanning many years. And as you climb the ladder, you gain more experience. Anyone who becomes Olubadan must have garnered a lot of experience. It is the history of Olubadan throne is rooted in the fact that Ibadan was founded by an Ife chief or prince, Oluyole or Lalagilu, and he settled at a place called Ebauda, where people came from all parts of Yoruba land to settle. And as they settled, people are getting more and more, people are coming from all parts of Yoruba land to settle at Ebauda, and it was getting more and more populous.
Ebauda beside the road?
Yes, beside the road, beside the main road. There is a tree there that the Yorubas call Odan. I don't know whether baobab tree or whatever, that signified or that represents that was a landmark for recognition of that place and foundation of Ibadan. Ibadan was headed later by either Ibale or Balogun or Are. The last Are was Latousa, and the last Baale,
not a king then, not Oba.
The last Balogun to rule over Ibadan was Kobomoje. We call him Kobomoje. And the last Baale who transitioned to Oba was Shitu Oyetunde. Shitu Oyetunde was Baale of Ibadan. And the title changed from Baale to Olubadan without beaded crown. Because the Are or Balogun or Baale were not wearing beaded crowns. In Ibadan history, it was designed in such a way that every family within Ibadan has a right to produce the Olubadan, but it is not a free for all thing. A family will have a Mogaji, that is the head of the family. He will not be the one to climb the rope or the ladder, becoming Mogaji. From Mogaji, he climbs up to become, until he rises to become either Otun Olubadan or the Balogun. Those are the two recognized.
Ibadan is like using centralized government.
Yes or no. Centralized in the sense that it accommodates all families within Ibadan. No, because only one person from one family can aspire to become Olubadan, not everybody. And I must confess to you that it is not a straitjacket thing like that. If somebody, for example, I want to give you the example of one Oba in Ibadan history. It was Osi Balogun, and it was the turn of Balogun to produce the Olubadan. Ibadan, the Otun Balogun died, the Balogun died. In quick succession.
Living species.
So when the two of them passed away, the Balogun, the Ibadan did not say, because the two leading chiefs who were to succeed each other were dead, and because of that
she
migrated to the Otun line. No, the Otun Olubadan then, who is now the Olubadan designate now, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja was the one who stood and said, look, you cannot change the tradition of Ibadan. The Osi Balogun will first of all become Otun Balogun.
Taking step one by one.
After that, he will take the title of Balogun before becoming the Olubadan. So you cannot jump. But then each time you move, you celebrate the chieftaincy. Ibadan, the Ibadan people will say, "Bo ba Olubadan, gbogbo bí ọba ti dé, gbogbo kòtò ọba ti dé, lọ́wọ́ mọ̀ tó yìí jẹ́." So there is even a family in Ibadan bí tó yìí jẹ́.
I want to compare that of Ijesha to that of to this of Ibadan.
There is a wide margin of difference. While in the Ijesha land, there are ruling houses that produces the Owa Obokun. In Ibadan, there is no straight family. It is only by chieftaincy line. You understand? Chieftaincy line that are not hereditary. While that of Ijesha can be hereditary, that of Ibadan is not. For example, but in Ijesha land, if you want to become the Owa Obokun, you must first of all become a lodger and a prince from one of the ruling houses. There are ruling houses in Ijesha. We have Bilaro Oluodo that produced the current Owa Obokun. We also have Bilayi Arere that produced Oba Arumalana, the late. We have Bilagbayo that produced Oba Peter Olatunji Agulejika. We also have those are the I think those are the three.
Okay, then now let us look at the person of the former king. He spent about just 1 year and a few days, a few hours. Then can we say that he achieved anything for you within that very short time?
Yes. Yes. He actually did. Oba Major retired. Owolabi Olakuleyin retired from the Nigerian Army as a major, a commissioned officer for that matter. And he has commanded some military formations before becoming the Magaji, because you cannot combine the two. If you see people becoming Magaji in Ibadan, they are proving themselves well in their chosen profession. When he became the Olubadan, there were controversies. And the controversy surrounded his age. But it has there were Olubadans who spent just few weeks, few months. Oba Yusuf Kobiowu was Olubadan for just 6 months. He was 60 years old when he was installed. But a Yoruba adage you say, igi tutu ama wo lulẹ̀ nígbà tí bíbẹ̀ ó dúró. So, and we had Oba Yusuf Oloyede Ashanike, who became Olubadan at a very advanced age. And he was there for about 10 or 11 years. So it is a matter of destiny. Becoming Olubadan is not accidental but providential. Oba Olakuleyin was able to unite Ibadan more than any traditional ruler.
Within
within those, is the first to live in a modern palace built for the Olubadan, and he will be buried there. So he has made history. He made history as the first Olubadan to occupy the palace. There was a palace built for the Olubadan at Ojaba, but later the palace was abandoned by late Oba Shanke, citing the invasion of the palace by rats. And he went back, and each time an Olubadan is installed, the Oyo State government will go and rehabilitate his house, because wherever the Oba lives becomes the palace. But Ibadan is a very big place, the biggest in Africa. So it should not have, and because it is the biggest, it has the most unique succession system, and you know, Ibadan is a cosmopolitan place. There are many towns that join with Ibadan.
Even we learned that anybody can become Olubadan. You say that you're respecting your family.
Because
we have heard that
you can become Olubadan
from Malaysia, people from Iwo and some other places coming to the village, and at the end of the day they become
the lineage. That person's family must have existed in Ibadan for more than 100 years.
Even if the person is not a Yoruba, can the person go?
If the family has been in Ibadan for more than 100 years, the first, second, third, fifth generation, and they have their family house, ancient one, and the Ibadan people accept. For example, Oba Ali, Oba Mahood, Balogun, Mahood, Lekha Balogun, was a son of the late Oba Baale Aliwo. Aliwo became Olubadan. He was a cocoa merchant from Iwo, but he successfully brought his people from Iwo and they settled in Ibadan. And the family evolved for years. You know, when the generation goes, another one comes. So about 4, 5, 6 generations had been in Ibadan. Aliwo is beside the main road. When you are coming from Agodi, after the junction to the NTA Ibadan, you move forward, you move forward a bit and you get to Aliwo. That is their family house. It's a big family house. So for someone to say anybody can become Olubadan is not too factual. It's not too true.
But it is complex. Not that it's not true. It is complex.
You become Olubadan because you are recognized in Ibadan. You have a family house that has a history.
That means people can plan for it. People can plan for it. The non-indigenous of Ibadan can plan for it and plan over.
Ibadan people know themselves. Not every family in Ibadan can produce a Mogaji. Not every. Because you have a family house in Ibadan, you must have a family house in Ibadan. You must have a village too. For example, the late Oba Olakunleye has a family village at Akara. Akara is on the outskirts of Ibadan after Amuloko. And there are people from Egbeda, there are people from Akufo. About Olóyèdè Asanke had his family village at where is this town of Adeleke of Ejoku. That's it. So Ibadan, not just anybody can become Olubadan. No.
Okay, let us look at it. You described Ibadan as the biggest in Africa. Even though we have had another city bigger than Ibadan.
Yes.
Ibadan, since many years ago, they have been clamoring for having Ibadan state.
Yes.
But because they have bigger local government, but some people say that their failure to have that one is as a result of having only one monarch as the king of over many local government. Can that one qualify them to have a state?
As I speak to you, Ibadan has, if not more, I can count on my fingers about 11 local governments. There are Bayelsa State has only 8 local governments. There are states in the north that have less local government, and there are states drawing allocations from the federation's account. But in the case of Ibadan, the clamor for Ibadan State has been for a long time. If you look at Ibadan, after leaving Ikire, going to Ibadan, you see a lot of towns on the road. Within and in and inside. If you are coming from Iwo side, Ladukno is there. Olodo is there. And there are many others. They are Ibadan. And from Olodo to Ibadan is some kilometers. From Ladukno to Ibadan.
Even each of them was a town.
There are towns. Ladukno has an Oba installed by the Olubadan. Olodo has a Baile installed by the Olubadan. Meaning that Ibadan is more than the metropolis of Ibadan. Ibadan extends to places like there's that Elmu area, Elegbahada, Agbegende, and many more. So Ibadan is not just within Ibadan. About 11 local governments.
Okay.
There is even a place called Oyedeji and many others.
I want to appreciate James for his contribution on that. Let's just look at the difference between the just passed away Olubadan and the likely person to enter the show.
Yes, they are both educated. For a person to become a major in the Nigerian army, Nigeria must have invested on him. He will have gone to a lot of courses.
And the former governor of the state.
But Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja is a man of history. He's going to be the first Olubadan to be referred to as His Excellency and His Imperial Majesty at the same time. Because in Nigeria, once you are a governor, you will carry that title, His Excellency, to the grave. He has been, Ladoja has been protecting that throne for a long time. He has been doing everything possible to ensure that the throne of the Olubadan is not rubbished. If not, he did everything to ensure that there is no influence of politics and government in the hierarchy that produces the Olubadan.
Especially when they had many kings and gave them.
You see, that time, the late Governor Abiola Ajimobi of blessed memory had his reason. And the reason is because he wanted to prepare the ground for the creation of Ibadan State. But he did not lay it bare for people to see. He was doing it clandestinely, so that when the time comes for Ibadan State to be created, he will have a lot of things to point to as reason that made Ibadan worthy for that kind of elevation. So, but later when Kabiyesi Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja understood, he said it on the radio that he didn't understand the reasons before. Now that he has understand the reason, he is ready to wear a crown subordinate to that of Olubadan. There is Otun Olubadan, there is Osi Olubadan, there is Eketa Olubadan. We have the Balogun, the Otun Balogun, Osi Balogun, Eketa Balogun, all wearing beaded crown. but the crowns are subordinate to that of the Olubadan of Ibadan.
I want to appreciate you very much. Thank you very much. Now you have been watching and listening to Prince Babatunde Bolatiso, the veteran journalist. We thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
We very, very well. We enjoy you on behalf of the editorial advisor Motorayo Ayigbayo and the producer Oluwatoyin Yusuf, and I thank Pastor Sesan Chedoko. Thank you, Maru. Ashiro, thank you very much. Lubinga Olatunde, the graphics man, and James behind the camera, they're giving us tips. James and they're giving us tips. Thank you very much. Oyedira is our boss on the shift today. I'm yours. Adeleke Abijeli. Adeleke. We are going to meet again next time. Bye for now.
Oníṣòwò kékèké pẹ̀lú oníṣòwò ńláńlá ẹjọ́ TV channel o lè jọjà yìí tàyẹ sọ fún wọn. OSBC lókè balẹ̀ yìí channel 32 UHF náà dẹ̀ sọ. channel 32 UHF ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wá síbẹ̀ wọn. OSBC channel 32 kí ló ń ṣe níbẹ̀ gan òjijì tún lè ṣàdùwẹ̀ ṣe ọmọ. wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ àsìkò ní àjọyọ̀ àjò tó kọ́ ní lọ́gbọ́n lọ́lọ́kan òjò kan àwọn orin àsìkò tó tún bá gbà mú gidi ẹ ṣe publicity fún business tí a jáwó ìwọ lọ rí wọn tún lè ṣàdó bàbá ọgbọ́n ṣòkòrò kí lókè balẹ̀ náà wà ó ṣòkòrò kí lókè balẹ̀ náà wà ó. tó ti ń dá bí ẹ̀dùn tó ti ń rọ̀ bí òwe bàbá owó túnlé túnlé.
Tonight on Nova, Stone Age cave dwellers found living in the Philippine rainforest. But was this story just too good to be true?
I am absolutely convinced that it was a hoax, and I'm convinced because I believe them.
I don't believe the Tassai are a hoax.
20 years after their discovery, the debate rages on. Can we unlock the mystery of the lost tribe?
Funding for NOVA is provided by Johnson & Johnson, the signature recognized around the world for commitment to quality healthcare products for the entire family. And Lockheed, America's aerospace company, supporting math, science, and engineering education for national technology leadership. Major funding for NOVA is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the financial support of viewers like you.
It sounds like something out of a Jules Verne novel. That somewhere in a remote corner of the world, a lost tribe, untouched by time, still lives in the last tiny corner of Eden left on Earth. Imagine the excitement when 20 years ago, that tribe was discovered. The Tasadai, 26 men, women, and children living the life of Stone Age cavemen, unaware that there were any other human beings on the planet. Were the Tasadai really the people that time forgot? Or do these pictures tell the story of a hoax, one of the most elaborate in the history of science? The strange story of the Tisadai begins here in the Philippines, in the rainforest of the island of Mindanao. In the early 1970s, loggers were cutting down the rainforest at an ever-increasing pace. There were rumors of a strange group of forest dwellers living right in the loggers' path. And President Ferdinand Marcos's special assistant for national minorities, Manda Elizalde, had gone to investigate. Elizalde, one of the wealthiest young men in the Philippines, met the group first in June 1971. By 1972, through his private aid organization, Panamin, he was inviting the world in to see what he had found. The tribe called Elizalde Diwata, God.
Of all the tribes we dealt with, perhaps the Tisadai touched me most. Although they never realized that we were helping them in any way. They didn't know there was a country. They didn't know there was a sea. They didn't know that their land had to be protected. The simplest things that we had with our group, for instance, like rice, they did not even know what it was or even have a name for it.
The Tisadai live in caves. They make fire with a fire drill. They have no agriculture, taking their food from the trees and streams around them. They use stone tools. Their lives are so peaceful that they have no words for weapons, hostility, or war.
This brought to the group a certain amount of suspicion at first, and then concern that we should do something more than just isolate or try to protect this area for them, that we should advise the scientific world that there are these people who seem to be very different.
Elizalde had learned of the tribe through a hunter named Defal, who had discovered the Tisadai while out setting his traps one day in the 1960s. Defal brought the Tisadai knives, earrings, cloth, introduced them to new sources of food, and to trapping. There was even a joke that Tisadai history could be divided into two periods, before and after Defal. The Philippine government stopped the logging, and the scientific world savored the opportunity to study a living picture of our own human past. For most of our history, all of the human race lived as the Tisadai seemed to. As Paleolithic nomads, we collected food from the wild by hunting and gathering. We lived in caves or shelters, used stone tools, and wore plant or animal skin clothing. A crucial change began about 10,000 years ago in the Middle East, where we first learned to produce food instead of collecting it from the wild, by growing crops and domesticating animals. Iron tools came much later, beginning around 3000 BC. Could the Tisadai have been alone in their caves for 10,000 years? It was a tantalizing idea. These are the Kung people of southern Africa as they were in the 1960s. The Kung, like the Tisadai, and like a handful of other groups around the world, are hunter-gatherers. Because their lifestyle is so ancient, some scientists believe that hunter-gatherers may have a society and nature closer to that of our ancestors and might give us insights into our past. Were we, for instance, peaceful or aggressive? But all the hunter-gatherer groups we know of have long been in contact, however indirectly, with agriculturalists and the modern world. That's what made the Tisadai so fascinating. In their perfect isolation,